Hi folks, Joseph Kursky here, and one of the things we do on this channel is think spatially. I have a challenging Colorado places and main streets quiz for you. Now you can do this for any state, you can do this for any region, but use the model that I've set up here for Colorado. This is all part of the Exploring Colorado with Interactive Web Maps course that I teach frequently for the general public. I love this course and I hope you do love this part of the course as well. If I scroll down in that particular course, I'm going to get a guess where in Colorado part of the quiz. I've got two parts of the quiz, places and also main streets. Let's get started. Guess where in Colorado? This one's pretty easy to start us off with our spatial thinking exercise. Fort Collins, Boulder, or Colorado Springs? Think about that. Fort Collins, Boulder, or Colorado Springs. Okay, what about this place? Steamboat Springs, Grand Mesa, or Lake City? A little bit more challenging. Where could it be? Steamboat Springs, Grand Mesa, or Lake City? How about this one? Akron, Breckenridge, or Center, Colorado? Akron, Breckenridge, or Center. It requires you to think about where those places are and what kind of terrain I've photographed right here. These are all my own photographs. So those are the three that we've got. Let's start and summarize right now what we've learned. Fort Collins, Boulder, or Colorado Springs. That one's pretty easy. That's the Flatirons in Boulder. Boulder, Colorado on that one. And this next one, Steamboat Springs, Grand Mesa, or Lake City. This is the Grand Mesa. Flat top, basalt capped mountain, lava flow, covered by beautiful lakes and trees. That's the Grand Mesa, Mesa County, Colorado. One of my favorite places on the planet. And then this one I photographed in either Akron, Breckenridge, or Center. That's near Center. That's in the San Luis Valley. Notice how flat it is. Got an incoming thunderstorm there. Some looks like rabbit brush right there in the foreground. Fascinating. I love these pieces of terrain. So that is the set of answers: Boulder, Grand Mesa, and Center. Excellent. Now, second part of the quiz. Guess where from Google Street Views of main streets in Colorado? Ooh, this is a little more challenging. We'll see how you do. Main Street A, Springfield or Rifle? Now you're thinking about what kind of buildings are there? Are there trees? Lack of trees? How flat or varied is the terrain? Do we see hills? Do we see mountains in the distance? What do we see there? Springfield or Rifle? Okay, Main Street B, Fort Collins or Longmont? Fort Collins or Longmont? Main Street C, Alamosa or Gunnison? Alamosa or Gunnison? That may be a bit more challenging. All right. Main Street D, last one. Rangeley or Aspen? Rangeley or Aspen? Think about that for a moment. How did you do? How did you do on our four-part quiz? I'll give you the answers, and we'll encourage you to think spatially while we do so. This is in Springfield. Rifle, you would have seen a little bit of the Grand Mesa, a little bit of the Roan Plateau in the distance. A few more trees on Main Street in Rifle, but this is Springfield, southeast corner of Colorado on the Great Plains. Great community out there. Springfield, Baca County. Main Street B, there's actually a fairly major clue here. Main Street in Fort Collins is College Avenue. It's not really Main Street at all, so that was a big clue that it's actually Longmont, Colorado. Both along the Front Range, but Longmont actually has the Main Street. They both run north-south, College Avenue and Main Street. Two different communities. All right. Main Street C, this perhaps is the most challenging one. Alamosa is the answer here. Alamosa. Gunnison, you've got a little bit of terrain that you see in the distance there. You've got some mountains in the background in Gunnison. Alamosa, you're in the San Luis Valley. The mountains are quite a bit distant there. This is Alamosa in the San Luis Valley in Colorado. Wonderful community. And this last one may be fairly easy, but it is actually Aspen. That's Aspen. You've got those mountains right next to the town. You've got cottonwoods. You've got some aspen trees. You've got some fairly dense network of vegetation there. Rangeley is a bit drier than Aspen, quite a bit drier, and the mountains are a little bit further away and they're more arid. They're not covered with pines like here. You're out on the Colorado Plateau in the northwest part of Colorado for Rangeley. So that's a clue there. But all the while we've been thinking about think about this for a moment. We've been thinking spatially about terrain, buildings, what the names of the streets are, the elevation, hilly or not hilly, flat versus high relief, etc. So we're thinking spatially and geographically. That's what I love about these kinds of quizzes. And again, you can set this up for any place in the world. Any place in the world using these same tools. And I've got these all inside a ArcGIS story map. So I can scroll up, scroll down. I can show this on any device. If I go to a university or a community college or a school and teach this, it's all right there because I've shared it. I've shared it with you as well, Exploring Colorado with Interactive Web Maps. So I encourage you educators, create quizzes like this where you're encouraging students to think spatially. You're encouraging them to use prior knowledge, but also gain new skills and new vocabulary as they do so. And there's lots more. Active learning, investigating, places, Yifu Tuan, space versus place, our human connection to spaces and places is very much a fundamental part of our human existence. Topophilia, Dr. Tuan, I encourage you to actually look at some of the topophilia literature out there. Exploring Colorado with Interactive Web Maps is the course, and this section is a Main Street and a little dive into some photographs and thinking about the terrain, the vegetation, the sky, the weather, etc. at these different places. Thanks for being here with me, thinking spatially, Exploring Colorado with Interactive Web Maps, and our Place and Main Streets quiz. All right, be spatial. Thanks.